Greetings, fellow freedom fighters. My name is Joe Roberts. Dallas County, I am running for Texas House District 100, deep in the heart of Dallas. I'm a two-way race with whoever wins the Democratic runoff on May 29th. I'm already on the ballot, of course, having been certified, so I'm already hitting the ground running. For those of you not familiar with Dallas County and the redistricting, I am just on the border of a district that represents some of the poorest zip codes in the state. West Dallas, South Dallas, Pleasant Grove, for those of you familiar with Dallas County. I am working to bring the message of liberty to people who have never heard it before. These are not people who are opposed to libertarianism. They're people who have never, to a large extent, who have never been exposed to anything but Democrats and Republicans. I'm wanting to address people who have been affected negatively by the pandemic restrictions. I'm reaching out to businesses and workers who have lost their jobs or lost their businesses due to government shutdowns. I'm working with a population who either has been incarcerated or his family members have been incarcerated. So I'm pushing criminal justice reform in all its forms, decriminalization of marijuana. I've reached out to other community groups who have already worked with inmates to get them integrated back into the system. Mainly, however, what I am, there is a large Latino population, so I am also pushing our immigration platform against Greg Abbott and his wall, Greg Abbott in shipping people to Washington, D.C. in buses, and every other crazy Trump-esque idea that he's clinging to in order to try to get reelected. Lastly, however, one thing that I'm wanting to show them is how they are already working in their communities without government to improve their lives. I'm targeting and I'm reaching out to community groups, whether that be giving aid to poor, whether that be helping people, like I said, reintegrate into society after prison. People who are already doing things in their communities. I'm looking to celebrate those. I'm riffing off of Spike's You Are the Power. My campaign is talking about the power of us, the power of communities to come together. My role is to get the government out of their way so that they can do what they're already doing and doing it well unencumbered. So that's the heart of my campaign. If you want to learn more, robertsforliberty.com. Find out about my issues and donate, volunteer, etc. Thank you.
All right, next we have Kevin Hale. We have just a couple minutes left. We're going to try to do as many of these as we can with these brief breaks. So,
give Congress Hale. This was really fun to say at the Mesquite Rodeo Parade. I had them all laughing in the aisles. I told them if they wanted to take money out of politics, they should elect libertarians because we don't have any. That's exactly the reaction I got. This was good. It opened the door. It made them think. And they're coming to us now and they're asking questions. This is when we close the deal. I need your help, though, to get them to come ask the questions. So I'm going to give away 300 rounds of 9mm. Who wants 300 rounds of 9mm ammo? No one has too much. No one has too much. No one has too much. So if you want to get in the raffle to get 300 rounds of 9mm, 124 grain Browning, the good stuff, please make a monthly donation to my campaign. Sign up to be a monthly donor. It's only 7 more months, and I can get those billboards up in Dallas, not just in my rural counties. May 1st, my billboards go up in Wood County, my billboard goes up in Henderson County, and my billboard is going up in Kaufman County. Help me get 2 more in Dallas County, and I'll win this election.
can we get an update on how many more people still need to verify addresses? All right, we're still hearing that 30 people have not voted in the test OPA vote, so please check your email and your spam. And if you still have not gotten the ballot, the test one, please come see the folks at the desks over here to make sure we've got a good email address for you. We're still 30 potential voters outstanding. We're not in business yet, so.
People only that have been seated, or are we also waiting for alternates
So
to
it's my
respond?
understanding that everybody who is either a delegate or an alternate are doing a test for all of them.
We're doing a test for absolutely
Ballot. Yeah, it's time to ballot. Only those people who.
We could be, yes, we could be. Yes, that's true. So my question would be, for you would be, even though we're recess, say, if there's anyone that has not received an email that's here right now, come up to over here right now.
All right, if there's anyone here right now who has not received the OPA vote test email, we need to see you at the desk over here immediately. We are about to have to start balloting, and this is important information. We need to make sure we have your email address. Anyone who is here right now, if you have not received the email, check your email account, your phone, your computer, wherever you need to do it. If you have not received the test email, check your spam too, and then come get this sorted. If you are aware of anyone who has left the convention and has just passed their button off or given their button back but maybe didn't check out with the credentials committee, it could be that we are waiting for verification of those people's email addresses, which is going to hold us up. So if you're aware of any of those people and you can come help us clarify that, that would be great. Otherwise, we are going with whoever is here right now. Anyone who is here right now, you need to make sure that that your email address is verified. Otherwise, you will not be getting a ballot later, and that will continue to delay us.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Wilford.
can I request that...
All right, folks, we are back in order. We will be balloting soon. So let's get back in our places. Again, one more time, if you have not received a test ballot through OPA vote in your email, you need to come over here and get that squared away. We are moving on. Mr. Wilford.
So what I'm about to say may be moot from what you just said. However, my request was that you put the question to the body, is anybody still having trouble with their OPA vote, to raise their hand? And if we don't see those hands go up, that we move on with speeches and other business.
Yes. So I don't see anybody rushing to go sort out their email addresses over there. So I'm going to make the assumption that everyone in this room who is eligible to vote and get a ballot when we do that soon is capable of and has already verified that they are so. All right. So, Mr. White.
And further, if you have elected to receive a paper ballot, please come to the balloting station here from Arthur or myself, and we will get you a paper ballot.
Thank you. Paper ballot, Kevin? Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You're had an accident.
Oh, all of the carts coming down. All right, so with that, we are going to proceed with nominating speeches. And I'm first on the list, so if there is anyone who wishes to speak for me, I'm happy to yield my time. Otherwise, I'll say some stuff. You?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've had the privilege of working with Whitney for the past 2 years very closely. And, Kate Prather, Franklin County.
Thank you,
I know,
Kate.
I should know this by now, right? And she's done an incredible job. She has stayed consistent and principled. She knows clearly how to run a meeting, and it's gone really, really well. So we want this to continue. We want this leadership and the face, and it's a really nice face, to represent LP Texas. Yes. So I am voting.
I hear I have a resting bitch face, so
Yeah, you
look,
guys
I
saw-
know how to smile.
Yeah, you and I seem to suffer from the same thing, you know, hey. But anyway, my vote is for Whitney Bilyeu. I want to see the legacy continue.
Thank you. Mr. Wilford?
Yeah, so I rise to speak in favor of Whitney Bilyeu. I could talk about a lot of things. I could talk about her professionalism. I could talk about her ability to run a meeting. I could talk about the fact that she has helped the volunteer organization thrive. But the thing I really want to talk about is something that I don't think a lot of people know about. When I was leaving the chairmanship, right as Whitney was coming in, the Republicans were busy trying to get us off the ballot. And Whitney organized a legal defense for us, got it done through Select, got it funded, and was able to resist them. So our candidates were on the ballot.
Not by myself, mind you.
Our candidates were on the ballot because of the efforts that Whitney put in. And while these meetings are important, while Select is important, a lot of that work behind the scenes that you guys don't see, that's the really important thing that she brings to this party.
Thank you, John.
Becca Congdon, Bexar County. I am an officer of LP Texas, and I'm also on staff for the National Party. And I can say without a single question in my mind, there is not a person in this country who works harder for the Libertarian Party than Whitney Bilyeu. Nobody pushes me to be a better Libertarian, so I ask you to support her.
There's a long line over here. I don't know if you're waiting to speak for the next round, or...
I'll go that way.
Or is this for me, speaking for me?
Yes, but I'll go that way.
You can go do here.
Okay.
Yes, please do. You've been waiting. Please.
Okay, Nathan Garza, Hayes County. I just wanted to speak in favor of Whitney Bilyeu. She has shown a lot of professionalism in the face of very difficult times in our party, our state party. And she drives me to be a better Libertarian every day. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Whitney.
Chris Clements, Fort Bend County. I have known Whitney at the county level, at the state level. She was once my boss at National. I unqualifiedly recommend her for this position. She is who she is in public, in private. She's the same Whitney. You get it all the same. There's nobody that I would trust better at any level than Whitney Bilyeu.
Thank you.
Desiree Lindsay, Henderson County. Whitney and I came into the party around the same time, and I've gotten to know her pretty well over the years. We served on the platform committee together, and she just has inspired me every day since I've known her. I would never endorse anybody running against Whitney. She's amazing.
Whitney rocks. Okay. She is the very best. She knows her stuff, and she's been absolutely, you've been helpful in my campaign. You were helpful with the lawsuit that we had to deal with, and there's nobody that beats her.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm John Spivey with Denton County, and I wholeheartedly endorse Whitney. There is no better voice for us, there's no better advocate for LP Texas, within Texas, and on a national level than Whitney. And nobody knew the turmoil that was going to be happening when she stepped into the role on a national basis and has just made it all look easy. I salute you.
Thank you.
I'm Edgar Coyle from Bexar County. Are questions in order? Can I ask you a question?
It's just speeches right now.
Okay.
Thank you, though. Ms. Wolford.
Well, with these 8 seconds, I'll say that I've worked a lot with Whitney. She kept me sane, and we would not be where we are without her.
Thank you. So my time is up. Thank you for that. All right, I hear timers going off. Yep. Yes, I'm done. All right, Vice Chair, in order.
We need to roll to see who goes first.
Okay.
So if we can get Luke, And Kyle up here, you're going to do a roll-off to see who goes first. I have a D20. We need a D&D caucus. All right, who wants to roll first? All right, so Luke, go ahead, roll over here so there's no, like, cock die. That is a 14, Luke.
14, all right, not bad.
Highest wins, highest chooses. Roll again, both of you got a 14. That's a 4. Also 4. No! I need a critical from one of you. That's a 3. You gonna roll a critical fail next time, Luke?
Yeah, I know. Only going down. There we go.
11. All right, Kyle, your choose. Do you want to go first, or do you want him to go first?
I'll let Luke go first. Appreciate you, my man.
All right.
I appreciate you guys. What is up, everybody? This has been amazing. This has been a fantastic time so far. So I appreciate everybody who's put this on so far, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about myself. So my name's Luke Troxel, for those of you who don't know. I am a resident of Brazoria County in SD 11. I am running for the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Texas because I believe that we need to set our country free in this lifetime, not in some far off distant future. And that's going to require us to be high energy, growth oriented, and forward looking in our vision. And that is what I bring to the table. That is who I am. As many of you know, since I've joined in 2020 as a active member, I've been voting a Libertarian Party member since 2012. Many of you have gotten phone calls from me asking you, what can I do? How can I help? What do you need from me? And I'm going to continue that legacy in running for vice chair because I believe that the job of the vice chair is to facilitate moving things off of the chair's plate. I know that's not what it says in the book, but hey, we gotta, it's only one line. So, do the job of the chair when she's not there. And Whitney's been there every single time, so I don't think I'm gonna have to do that very much. But you know what I can do? I can make Whitney's life easier because I am somebody who likes to mobilize people. I like to help clear the plate. That's like a policy I live by. Get things off our desk so we can be less stressed out, because every single person who's had a full plate knows there's nothing better than having somebody assist you clear it. So, I don't want to eat up a bunch of time with a bunch of BS. That's what I'm here for. I am here for a forward-looking, growth-oriented mindset towards the Libertarian Party of Texas, and that's what I hope to carry in as vice chair. So, thank you. Do we want to do questions, or are we just doing speeches?
It's just speeches.
Thank you.
If you have people wanting to speak for you, you still have time.
Oh, yeah. If anybody would like to speak on my behalf or not, go ahead.
Yeah, Colby Micey, Midland County. I met Luke like 2 years ago. He came to a select meeting, not even on select, and I really respect that. Thank you. And I remember the first thing he said was an announcement where he boldly told the body, one day, I will run for President of the United States. And that level of energy has not slowed down one drop with this guy. I've worked with him, had the pleasure of working with him since that day, basically. And I fully endorse him.
Luke Troxel, 2028.
I am Jacob Bradley. I am the chair of Waller County. Luke is a couple of counties over from me. As soon as I got elected chair, he reached out to me. He has helped me build my county. He has showed up to every meeting that I have had. He has talked to me about messaging. He has talked to me how to reach out to the community. There is a handful of people that I can count on within, my county and helping my county grow and stuff like that. And Luke is one of the biggest people I can count on. I think he would be a great vice chair, and he will get my vote.
Is this thing on? Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Race from Dallas County. And hello, Libertarians. Glad to be here. I just want to say, I've known Luke for like 8 months. And he is like a continual fount of energy. I don't know where this guy gets off. Like, he is just constantly on top of everybody. He knows everything. He's constantly doing stuff. I wouldn't go that far. No, that's like pretty accurate. Don't cut yourself short. Well, just an example. I've got one of my buddies who's like super libertarian. He'd want to join like the Discord or like have his name out there, And he finally joined yesterday. And then he met Luke, and Luke's like, oh yeah, you just joined the Discord. Shook his hand, knew his name. Like, that's that kind of guy that he is. So, I mean, if you're looking for somebody who's gonna take a lot off your plate and like work really hard and make us all love him and you and do all the things that we're supposed to do, I think he's a good choice.
5 seconds. Ryan Pace from McLennan County. I'm just going to say ditto to what Jacob said because I am the newly elected county chair, and everything that all two of us here, but Luke has been one that has helped me get organized, and I look forward to growing the party in the Waco area. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Thank you, speakers. Kyle Russell.
Hello, LP Texas. I'm Kyle Russell. I'm from Dallas County. Yeah. I've been on select for 2 terms. I do a lot of What? Okay. There, is this better? Okay, there we go.
Apologies.
Okay, I've been on select for 2 terms. I do a lot of. I'm on staff for LP Texas. I do a lot of work behind the scenes. I run the website and help run the Discord and do a lot of the background IT stuff. But I've worked well with Whitney, and I'll work well with Whitney as vice chair. I want to partner with our comms department and operations department and help bring our party into the 21st century. So our next convention can be live streamed on the internet. And all our other future meetings, select meetings and things like that, because that's how we're going to reach more people, younger people, and grow our party. Thank you.
What?
Easy, fella.
Yeah, I need a chair. I'm too short.
We'll let Becca go ahead while you're sorting that out.
Do this?
Becca Congdon, Bexar County. For a little while longer, I am the current vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Texas, which has been an incredible honor and a ton of work. And I don't think there is a single person who has made that job more possible for me to accomplish than Kyle. He has been available at the ridiculous hours of the night that I typically work to make any last-minute changes that I might need. The very convention that you are sitting at right now would not have happened without Kyle's help. So in every possible way, he has cleared the plate for the officers many, many, many times. He is a principled libertarian who I am so very proud to call a friend as well. And I would ask you to support Kyle Russell.
Thank you. Obviously, Kevin Hale, Dallas County. I met Kyle in 2018 when I was walking for Mark Tippett's, and he's the reason that I got to 13,000 homes in 2018. Kyle doesn't not only do the back-end work that this party needs to come to the 21st century, he does the frontline work too. He's been to all the parades that I've been at. I almost killed him at the last one, but it was good. And he shows up I would not have gotten to 20,000 homes in 2020 without his help. So it's not that you're getting a good administrator of the back end, you're getting a frontline guy too.
Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead, you go.
Are you speaking for Kyle?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're not eating up his time with other stuff. Go ahead.
I just want to quickly say that I try to help the party where I can, and Kyle is the guy I go to when I need help. So I rely on Kyle a lot, and I appreciate everything he's done, even though he might not be visible running around the convention. I've relied on him, and I thank him regardless of what happens here.
Thank you. Mr. Dixon, you were next, yes.
Pat Dixon from Travis County. We have a lot of first-time delegates here, and that's great, so you may not know who I am. I had Whitney's job for 10 years. So there's a difference. There's a difference between officers and candidates. Candidates should be the people who are passionately reaching out to people, who are the big personalities. Officers, the purpose of having an officer is not to necessarily be the face of the party. It's a management position. It's a position of trust. I've known Kyle for long enough to know we can trust him. That's why I support him.
I'm Ben Farmer from the oil field of Ector County. And one thing people don't realize about the position of vice chair is exactly how much work it is. And to give you any indication, I served one term and wanted no more of that. The next guy served half a term, wanted no more of that. The third guy served one term, no more. And then Becca served one term, and she's done now too. So I know that Kyle knows the amount of work that it's a 60-hour-a-week job, okay? And Kyle has worked in the departments. He's been around long enough. He knows what it's going to take, and I trust Kyle.
Hey, John Spivey with Denton County, and I rise to support Kyle. I can tell you it is about keeping the plate spinning. Just a little bit of information. He had a large event that he was doing last night. Sorry about that. That was a charity event that he was chairing and keeping that going and coming here all at the same time, and he made it look easy. So, Kyle, support.
Kyle for vice chair.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, speakers. All right. The Office of Secretary is next. We have two nominees, Anastasia and Agatha. If you will come up to roll the dice. Perfect.
We'll wait for Miss Agatha. She's coming.
D&D.
That's right. We need a D&D caucus. I know, we'd all be arguing. All right. You have the honors of rolling first. Anybody? Go ahead. That is an 8. All right, Ms. Vinders. That's a 10. You get to choose. Do you want to go first or second? All right. Ms. Anna.
All right, we'll hear from Ms. Wilford first.
You'll actually hear from me last because I would like to give some of my dear friends in the party an opportunity to speak because I'm probably going to cry by the time I get up here.
Pat Dixon, Travis County. So I already told you I've been an officer for a long time, and there's a degree of commitment you have to have as an officer. You have to know you can trust somebody to do the responsibilities of the position. We've all seen what Anastasia's done. Those who know the degree of commitment she has, she's earned our trust. She's earned this position.
I'm going to try and make this brief because I already spoke a little during the nomination and because there does seem to be a long line. I do want to point out, and this is going to be very similar to the speech I gave for her run for Denton County Secretary. a lot of you guys have seen her, especially back when she was sending out emails, seen her walking around, seen her campaigning, but what you probably haven't seen and would see if you were sitting behind her is that right now, during this convention, she is taking a secondary set of minutes for her own notes. And I said then, I'll say it again, she does that at every meeting she goes to. She's going to be doing this job anyway. Let's just have her do it for us.
Hi, y'all. I'm Stephanie. I'm the current secretary for 24 more hours. And I just want to let you know how much work this job is. It's wonderful. It's rewarding. Y'all are fantastic. Anna came up to me, had a conversation about what needs to be done because there's a lot of changes. And I have full confidence that she will be able to do everything that needs to be done in a very professional and uplifting way. And she's a principled libertarian who's been around for a very long time. So I have full faith that she will do an outstanding job.
Eric Van Singel, Wood County. I was going to run for secretary, and I saw that Anastasia filled out the form, so I reached out to her. I'm like, what's up? What's going on? And I'm so excited to do this. I know I can, and I'm real passionate about it. I said, cool, because I would vote for you too. So I decided to not run and let Anastasia do what I think she will do best, and you should give her support.
Teresa Rushing, Tarrant County Treasurer. I came up here to talk about Anna, and that's because she was one of the first people that I met at my first state convention in 2014. And she's always been warm and welcoming and extremely transparent and always takes the time to explain to me why they're making the decisions that they are. And that is a huge benefit to everyone in the party. Just so you know, I think that she is the perfect person for the job. Plus, she knows the organization. She was membership coordinator 2014 to 2015, and she was operations director 2015 to 2020. So she knows our organization well enough. She knows the state laws that she's up against. She can do this job right now.
Brooke Bailey, Denton County. I'm going to say something that may surprise you. Anna and I have had conflict and haven't always liked each other. I know it's hard to imagine two libertarians not getting along, but Anna always treated me with respect, even when we disagreed. And she always answered my questions fully, because she takes fabulous notes, as was already said. She's punctual, she's organized, and she has my full support for this job.
Thank you guys very much. Damn it. I'm moved. This party is where my heart is. I did put hours and hours into this party, frequently 60 hours a week as membership coordinator and operations director, because this is where my heart is. I took a break from 2020 until very recently. I was burnt out. It happens. I learned how to set good boundaries. I realized that the thing that I was missing in my life was this party. I had to get back to it, and this is how I want to do that.
Thank you, Ms. Wilford, and speakers. Ms. Venters.
Hey everybody, I'm Agatha Venters. I'm running for secretary of LP Texas, clearly. What is the role of secretary? We all know what that is. Accurate record keeping to be used by the entity. And I would like to follow up with that question. What is a bookkeeper? A bookkeeper is a person who keeps an accurate record of an entity's books in order to assist the entity. I think that these two things are basically equivalent, and that is what I've been doing for 10 years. I've been a bookkeeper for 10 years as an employee and as a self-employed person as well. And beyond that, through a hobby of building websites, I've honed a skill of tech savviness that I think I can bring to the position of secretary that will assist secretaries after me moving forward. I'm running because I believe in the power of this party to affect change in this country during a pivotal moment. And I really believe in my ability to support this institution behind the scenes. I'm running because I want my sons to garden because they enjoy the pleasure of gardening, not because their dollars will not buy food. I want my sons to enjoy the sport of riflery and be great shots, not because they have to go to war, but because they enjoy the sport. I've had a chance to live my life fully, and I don't want that same high honor stripped away from my sons. I want, I don't want them to have that opportunity stripped from them by a tyrannical government set on their own perverse gains. This party stands on the shoulders of giants who have maintained ballot access, fought the state on filing fees, worked through COVID lockdowns in order to pull off the last state convention at the last second, and that was, y'all rose to the occasion amazingly. There should always be room for new skill sets. New blood at every level is a necessary part of growth. So let's blow open the doors of this party to liberty lovers, whether their experience comes from the private sector, charity work, or hobbies, or anything. Don't forget what they've taken from you, from your friends, from your grandparents, and don't let them take it away from your children as well. Thank you.
All right, so my name's Carter Fain. I'm from Barrett County. I've been involved for around a year and a half now. I was not a graphic designer by trade, but I've ended up doing some graphics for the party, and specifically for candidates. I'm also a boomer. I do not do websites at all. They're just not my thing, but I needed someone who could help me out because I got tons of requests from candidates, tons of requests from county affiliates to build websites. We've even ended up helping a few state affiliates build websites. Agatha, I stumbled across her. I cannot tell you how amazing this woman is. She's the kindest person I know. She is a killer worker, and I couldn't have helped the candidates, the county affiliates, and the state affiliates I have without her. She is amazing. She's an asset to have. She wants to grow the party. She wants to support our candidates. That's good in my book, so that's why I'm endorsing her for secretary.
Hey everybody. I just got done talking, but I just want to say real quick, one of the things that I think Agatha excels at is staying on task. And she helps me stay on task all the time, and she chews me out for it whenever I don't stay on task. So I have to say, she's one of the hardest workers I've worked with. I mean, seriously, she's cranked out like 3 websites over the course of like a week and a half before, and that's just kind of insane to me. I'm not tech savvy, maybe it's super easy to do, maybe it's not, but I consider that a feat in and of itself, and I think she's going to bring a lot of technological skills to the position of secretary, so please consider her for secretary. Thank you.
My name is Hannah Kennedy from Harris County, and what I'd like to say about Agatha is that there are people who shine in this environment where you are advocating for yourself and you're in a candidacy kind of situation. But that's not where Agatha shines. Agatha shines when you want work done, and she will get it done with integrity, with fairness, and just the most incredible warmth and kindness. So I strongly endorse Agatha as secretary.
Thank you, Agatha and speakers. right, moving on to treasurer. We had one nominee. Kate Prather, and anyone who wishes to speak for her, line up.
Yes, I can make this a 5-minute donation pitch. But it seems like I'm going to let those fine folks have their word, and if there's time, I'll make that pitch.
All right. Mr. Thompson.
That's Mayor Thomason.
Sorry. I stand corrected.
Shannon Thomason, Howard County. I just want to remind everyone, in 2020, the city of Big Spring was proud to host LP Texas when McAllen crawfished on us. But the foresight to do the pre-planning on that came from one person that reached out to the city of Big Spring, and that was Kate Prather. The entire team did a fantastic job in the few days to organize that. But had Kate not reached out to me almost 2 months prior, we couldn't have gotten it done that quickly. And as a result of that, Kate was awarded the key to the city of Big Spring at our 2020 convention. So I am proud to support Kate Prather for treasurer of LP Texas.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate, for being such an amazing partner in these past couple of years. It has been an absolute pleasure working with you, and we couldn't have gone as far as we did. This woman has saved us thousands of dollars by finding errors that have been ongoing for years, largely due to transitions happening and just things getting lost. Have you ever forgotten to unsubscribe to something? Yeah. We had a lot of those, and she's cleaned it up, and you've just done a remarkable job, and I love you dearly.
What can I say about Kate? A lot of things. But I will say about Kate, and I know Kevin Hale will say it, she has actually increased the revenue in the state party, which hasn't ever happened in the history of this party. We're going into convention in the black. Yeah, this is a good thing. Vote for Kate.
Hi, Sean Huckabee, Bexar County. I just want to note that when the position of, with the position of treasurer, you're dealing with a lot of trust because you're talking about someone who is looking at the books and managing money. And I want to note that during her entire tenure, I've never seen a treasurer that was more eager to get on people for not checking her work to make sure it's correct. As well as she was the one that, whether you agreed with it or not, she was the one that was spearheading the proposal to have background checks, knowing that she would be among those that would have to be checked, which to me sounds like a commitment to transparency and honesty and forthrightness that is not something that should be taken lightly, so definitely vote for her.
Well, Sean took a little bit of my thunder, but I would definitely like to say is a lot of people know Kate for her ability to run events, for her to have energy. There is no questioning her commitment to this party, to this movement, no question whatsoever. But I just wanted to point out, because this is the treasurer position, she also has unquestionable ethics. Transparency, encouraging others to be transparent. There is no person that you want in this position other than the person that's going to have the highest ethical standards for herself and for everybody around her. And for that reason, I fully support her candidacy.
It's 38 seconds, damn. I first came into contact with libertarians in earnest the first time working at a FIJA booth with Bob Smiley. And this is something that Kate would probably never take credit for, but FIJA has a booth here at this convention because Kate's an unselfish person and gave up her own booth so that we could have a booth. And so just got my support.
Seriously, give me your money.
Thank you to all of the nominees and those who spoke for them. We will now proceed to balloting, and I just want to clarify a couple things as we move into this. First of all, are we ready to do that?
Yes, Madam Chairman, we're ready.
Okay, thank you. When this happens, we're starting to get to the point where we close out our day, and thank you so much to everybody here who has. We are on schedule. Right along. I'm so grateful to all of you for that. This has been phenomenally successful today. The last thing that we were scheduled to do today was the Senate District Caucuses, and the purpose of those is to elect the Senate District reps. You would have 30 minutes in the schedule to do that. I had budgeted the time for tomorrow morning to report those back. If you get those done early and you want to report them to us before you leave, before we adjourn, that would be fine too. We're about to start balloting though, which means we're going to have a little bit of downtime, and I want to use that time while we're doing that to hear from a few more of our nominated candidates for public office. So just make sure you don't leave just because you finished your ballot. We still have to come back and convene with our Senate districts, and then I'll give a little bit more instruction when that time comes. So we're getting close. Thank you so much for all your cooperation today. It's been fantastic. And with that, what do you need from us to start balloting here? And this, again, it's four races, 4 party offices, approval voting, and then whatever further direction Mr. White can provide here.
So the OPA vote that will be going out will have, in each race, will have the person who for and the person against. Candidate A, candidate B, candidate C. And the for or against, you vote for or you vote against the person. Is that clear? Or abstain, you cannot vote for either in that race. You can just leave it blank if you choose to.
So if I may, this may sound odd for those who haven't done it this way, but this is how, and correct me if I'm wrong, we are accounting for NOTA. In other words, for each candidate running against NOTA. So the way we're accounting for that in this balloting process is each candidate will be listed twice, once with a yes option and once with a no option. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
For and against.
Sorry, for or against, yes.
And we made the paper ballot similar for those who are doing paper ballot, a for and an against. And if you need a paper ballot, if you're one of the ones who is receiving a paper ballot, you will come over here and we will hand it to you after we check it off that you have actually supposed to be getting a paper ballot and not an OPA vote ballot.
So if someone casts a vote for and against someone, what is the net result?
It's nothing.
So it means nothing.
Well,
maybe not do that?
Well, it certainly doesn't do anything either way.
Right.
It will add towards the majority of 4 votes, though. So it will. That's the practical effect of it. And
point of order.
Mr. Wilford.
I would dispute that and say that it is a spoiled ballot, and a spoiled ballot does not add to the majority requirement.
If you interpret that way, we're doing this electronically, but that means we're going to have to count every ballot by hand. I don't.
So the way to solve this problem is to not do that. You have a choice for that person or against that person. Don't fat finger it. Just push the right button and make sure you hit.
We can scan through the ballots, I think.
Mr. Thomas.
We can scan through the ballots and try to quickly identify where that may have happened on the ballot recreations, and then try to identify that and remove those totals if that satisfies your.
If I may,
Mr. Wilford,
can you get it in a spreadsheet format?
There's a CSV file that we can download.
And then could you sort by the fors and the against, and that would bring all of those to the very top?
The CSV file is a cumulative. It's totals. It is not individual balloting. So, not really.
Madam Chair, I think I misspoke on the spoiled ballot interpretation.
Thank you, Mr. Wilford. I was wondering about that. Did I also hear you say that abstain is an option, will be an option?
No, there is no explicit abstain option on there. If you want to not vote, just don't vote in anything. Yeah. And I'll also announce, hopefully, the Credentials Committee is going to freeze the check-in, check-out process at some point because that's just logistically what we have to do to get the emails over and start voting. So if you have any check-in, check-out stuff for your county or seating and unseating for your county, that needs to be taken care of. They'll announce that, I assume.
Okay. With regard to balloting, I have one more question that needs to be addressed. You said that if you don't want to vote and you wish to abstain, just not vote. The problem that I foresee with that is that if you don't hit the vote button, then on the back end, it looks like maybe they didn't get their ballot or they haven't returned it. So what is the option for people who don't wish to vote but they want to be recognized?
When we say just don't vote, just don't indicate for or against in a particular race. Just don't check anything. You can still cast a vote without casting a for or against. It will just be a blank for that particular race.
Yes, and we have done that before where it did accept it, so you were expecting it to work that way today as well.
And as Mr. Mace pointed out, just hit the vote button when you're done. Because
it'll confirm.
There are 4 races on this ballot.
Yeah,
so just skip that race and just don't vote on that one.
Does that address your concern, Mr. Golston? Okay.
Yes, I was going to ask if this could be for one specific race. Yes.
Okay.
Question.
Mr. Wilford.
John Wilford, Denton County. If somebody doesn't vote in a race or effectively abstains, will the software be able to pull that out so it doesn't affect that bottom line toward a majority?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
How many mics? Come on. And if you truly want to vote against every candidate, just vote against on each candidate, and that's how you. The traditional understanding a lot of people have NOTA. That's how you would do that. Again, just against everyone.
Okay. It is approval voting, so you can vote for both of them.
Well, is that what you were asking?
Yes.
If you favor one candidate, vote for them. You should vote against the candidate if you don't want them, but you don't have to vote against them. Yes. Does that make sense? Okay. The purpose of the against vote is if you really don't want that candidate. That's essentially, it's also used in if it's possible in approval voting that we somehow get a tie, and then we use the against votes to determine the tie. It's a tiebreaker.
Question of order. I clearly understand the reason not to hand count. That's why you're going to do this. But is there a provision associated with the election being so close that that's going to be a requirement, less than 0.5% or something like that? What's the provision if it's that close?
The mic was cutting out, so I didn't hear all of his question. Did y'all hear his question?
Blanco County, Bo McManus. So my question is if it's a close vote, such as less than 0.1%, is there a provision to do the hand counting to ensure the accuracy? I clearly understand the need not to do hand counting if it's a clear distinction of who the winner is, but what if it's close? Do you have a provision associated with assuring the accuracy of the election?
I mean, we have the dump of the ballots, individual ballots, so we have those, but it will just tell us automatically what that count is. But yes, it can be done.
It would be a matter of counting the number of yeses this person got and the number of yeses this person got. Okay.
But there is no provision, there's no requirement.
It would be a bylaws question about that. There's no provision to have that done.
No.
It's just majority, it's
correct
approval.
All right, so at this point we are ready for balloting. Question?
Kevin Lang, Harris County. Was there a motion in any of that? There's all this talk about how we want them to.
No, they were providing direction on how balloting is about to
They were
happen.
provided instruction from the floor, which should have come in the form of a motion. Do we know how they're going to count?
No, sir. We've already decided we're using OPA-Vote. All we were doing was explaining how OPA-Vote works. And so what people are going to see when they get their ballots and how to mark what they wish to mark.
Can we get a final description of exactly what they're going to do then? Because there was a number of suggestions about what happens if you vote for both and having to pull them out.
You're going to get a ballot with 4 races on it. 2 of those races only have 1 candidate. You can vote for or against that candidate, or you can not vote in that race at all. There are going to be 2 races that have 2 candidates. You can vote for or against either one or both or none. But you would only want to vote for or against an individual. If you vote for and against the same individual, I don't understand what your question is right now.
Are we going to have them go through all these one by one to see if somebody accidentally did that because someone doesn't like OPA voting? I don't. The system just adds it up automatically.
Yes, it is automatically counted on the back end. That is what this system is designed for. It handles all of that counting for us. Okay. All right. So we should start receiving ballots in our email.
So, Nathan Watts, Harris County, just commenting about Credentials Committee. So, the Credentials Committee is ready. The Credentials Committee is ready to deliver the list of everybody who is seated. This is the last chance if anyone in their delegation has like a delegate who's here but is not seated, maybe has given up their seat to an alternate, or if you've seated like a lower priority alternate over a higher priority alternate because that alternate did not want to be seated. If you have any situation like that, come tell us right now. We'll wait maybe like 2 minutes, and at that time we will give the list of all the emails for everybody who's seated, to our knowledge.
Currently eligible to vote. Mm-hmm.
Correct. Everybody who's seated, and they also have a list of everybody who's seated who has requested a paper ballot instead. So those people will go up here to receive a paper ballot. Any questions about that? Okay. If you need to tell us about any change in seating, do that right now.
Okay. So we will start balloting here soon. Be watching your emails for that if you are indeed an eligible voter at this time. We are scheduled at 4:30, which is in 3 minutes, to start our Senate district caucuses. While they are preparing ballots, what I would like to do is figure out where these caucuses are going to occur. There are, how many do we have represented? Credentials Committee, do you know how many Senate districts we actually have represented today? I mean, I know we have 31 Senate districts, but are there delegates from every single one of those present that need space for caucusing?
If you'd like, I can call out the Senate districts and they can comment.
Okay, so the Secretary is going to call out Senate districts, and who you guys can, as she does that, decide where you are going to be meeting. Your meeting can take until 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, let's come back in here, and at that point, we should be done balloting as well. So, Madam Secretary, go ahead and start with the Senate districts to determine
I'd like to make a motion that we wait until we get the results of the officers' elections before we have the caucuses, because some of these people running for offices may want to run for SLEC.
Okay. That is in order. We have a motion to hold off on Senate district caucuses until all of the balloting and the vote tallying is done and officer elections are reported. And it was seconded. Yes. Any objection to that?
Potentially. I have a question.
Mr. Micey and Mr. Westbrook, you'll be next.
Do we have any idea how long the candidate speeches and everything would take? I asked because...
What candidates are you referring to?
I thought we were having public candidates just come up and say some words.
That is actually for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
That's towards the end of the day tomorrow, to close out the convention.
Still, though, it took me about 40 minutes to get my ballot earlier. So if we're just doing nothing in that time, I'm a little concerned about that.
40 minutes is highly unusual, so... Is that because there was an issue with yours? There was with mine. So
It might have been my phone, to be honest, but those things
Okay.
happen. I mean,
Okay, that is highly unusual given my experience. So that should not be the case. All right, so we have a motion to
Well, like Kyle mentioned.
to postpone the Senate District Caucuses until the voting and balloting and reporting on the officer elections is completed. Is there any objection to that?
Request for information.
Mr. Westbrook has a question.
Yeah, Jack Westbrook, Randall County. My question is does the motion prevent us from going ahead during the voting and assigning the locations of those caucuses?
It actually does not prevent you from doing that. That is the next order of business, so thank you for that suggestion for expediency. Mr. Thomas, did you have something pertinent to share related to
I think so.
balloting? Okay.
I have, so people have been sending applications and platform agreements, and I have folders that I've been able to print all of those out. But there's also about 10 emails in my inbox right now of people who just today sent in some that I haven't been able to print out. And there was concern about really putting this information out publicly on like with our convention documents. So I do not know how to share what's in my inbox with those districts that were sent in today. But I do have these folders prepared, and I also have, for those curious that aren't as familiar with SLEC, I have printed out a few copies of our policy manual that I can put up front. And I also have a motion log, which is all the motions that passed over the last SLEC cycle that people can look at and see what kind of business SLEC does, because some people might not be familiar with what the body does, and those motions will show you.
In other words, if people in their Senate districts, when they're ready to caucus, they can come to you and get a folder of the relevant information for their Senate district. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So while we are balloting, the Secretary will be calling Senate districts up. If you are in that Senate district, come forward, decide where you're going to meet, and then you can linger as long as you would like while we're waiting for the results of the elections, and then you can go have your caucus, and then we still need to try to be back here by 5 o'clock.
Madam Chair, do we still have a motion on the floor to wait that? So,
well, there was no objection to it. However, I had people asking questions.
Right. I rise to object to the motion simply because we have a maximum of 6 Senate districts for all of the candidates that would be delayed as a result of the current balloting. Those districts can feel free to recess their caucus until such time as the officer elections are done, and then convene those specific caucuses instead, so that the rest of the caucuses can get their work done.
That is a fair point. And I assume that you determined that it's a maximum of 6 Senate districts because the people who are running for the offices only are represented in those 6.
There are only 6 officers, and so that's the maximum. It could be only lower than that.
Okay, so in other words, not putting the other, 25 potentially on hold is unnecessary, is what I'm hearing you say. Okay. So the motion is to postpone the Senate District caucuses until the results of the officer elections are complete. There's been an objection to that. Is there any further discussion on it? Otherwise, we'll proceed to a vote on it. All right, all in favor of postponing the Senate District caucuses and the election of the Senate District reps until the end of the officer elections, raise your hand. All opposed? It does not pass. So we will continue with balloting. The Secretary will start calling Senate districts up, find your people, figure out where you're going to meet, and then...
Point of information, just so we're
Work in
clear
that
on this, because this has come up at
Mr.
previous conventions. Yes, Ed Kless from Collin County. With the parliamentarians specifically, is it okay that we do this and conduct other business while a vote is in progress? That's my only concern for this. I voted in favor of this. I want to do this, but I just want to make sure that that's the case.
Yes, because it is a ballot that you will have in your possession and doing it on your own time, yes. That
Okay,
it's
fair
fine.
enough.
Thank you for asking, though. That is a good point. If we were showing hands and doing all of that, then no. Further information, Mr. Thomas?
Yes, I'm about to send the ballot out.
Okay, ballots are coming out soon.
But to be on SLEC, you have to submit an application and the platform agreement, and all those aren't available. So I'm concerned that they're going to go in their Senate districts and just potentially nominate people that haven't seen anything in, and that would be a violation of our bylaws.
Do you have a suggestion on how they should handle that? If someone in their Senate district decides they want to run for a rep seat and their paperwork is not in the folder.
Well, they could come to me or Stephanie, and we can look through our email to see if one's not in one of those folders. I'd suggest they take one of those folders for sure, and it indicates on there, but we could check our emails and try to share, but I'm also in the middle of doing balloting.
I understand.
Request for information.
Mr. Wilford.
Madam Chair, John Wilford, Denton County. Madam Chair, what would be the effect if a Senate District Caucus decided to elect somebody who had not filled out the requisite paperwork?
They are disqualified.
It would be my understanding that they are not qualified to serve because they did not fill out the paperwork.
So then the election would be invalid, and that caucus would lose their ability to elect a select rep unless they use the very cumbersome county process? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct.
So I would guess you would recommend they don't do that.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, request for information.
Mr. Garza.
In the future, is it not possible to, in order to avoid this issue as far as people submitting applications and platform documents and everything like that so close to caucus time, is it not possible to put a hard stop deadline, days?
Oh, is that too exuberant?
It is absolutely possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Question?
Mr.
Would it be, Colby, I don't know if you take notes. Would it be possible to notify the potential 6 SD, or I guess 2 really in the contested races, 4 I guess, just so they have a heads up that they may have potential candidates pending? Just announce, please.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
So, I'll just do this consistently with everybody who is on the ballot right now for officers. That's who we're talking about, right?
That works for me.
I can notify them as we call them.
Okay.
I mean,
that's fine.
They can do whatever they want.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
Colby,
Yes,
I'll make
we'll
sure
do
that
that.
happens. Okay. So the only ones I'll be calling off are the ones I have applications for. And a lot of people have been coming up to me today, so if you feel like I missed you because you've applied today, you need to speak up at the end of this roll call or forever hold your peace. All right, so Senate District 1, SD 1.
So I recommend if you're in SD1 to
Grab with-
identify your flag bearer and then
Identify.
so you'll know where you're going.
I believe. I'll set the awkward example. SD1. Thank you, Kate. SD2. Now, SD1 has Kate Prather, who is currently running for officer. SD2 has Agatha in it, so she's running for secretary. There is no folder for that, though, because I think she and Michelle are in there.
Madam Secretary?
SD2, Michelle.
There's no folder for SD2.
There's no folder. Just know that you and Agatha. Agatha, can you wave so that Michelle can find you?
Agatha was in the far back corner.
Madam Secretary?
Okay.
Okay.
Maybe
So
just head
find
that
Agatha.
SD2.
If you are in SD2 right here, wave so that you can see her.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Nathan wants, would it be helpful if the Credentials Committee delivered to you a list of everyone who's checked in, sorted by Senate District, to be displayed on the screen as you are announcing these?
All I am calling are the ones who have select officers who have applied.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so we have SD3.
If you are starting together with your caucus, please start making a move away from the rest of the body so that they can continue to hear and be able to pay attention to what's happening. SD3?
SD3 wave so everyone can see you.
Folder up.
Hold your folder up.
This way.
And if I may interrupt for a moment, the OPA vote.
Doug, are you 3? He's up here.
The OPA vote has been sent out. If you require a paper ballot, please come see us up here.
Hallelujah.
SD4. Come get your folder.
Colby, did you get your OPA vote? Check your email. I just want to make sure.
SD5.
Mine's in, so. 5.
Oh, you got it.
SD5.
SD6. SD6.
Oh, no.
If you're
It's not
unsure what
resting
your
bitch
Senate
face,
district
problem.
is, it is on your badge. SD6.
Hey, Aaron.
SD7.
Sweet. 7.
That includes Whitney if you wish to delay your caucus.
I'll be joining you soon. Where are we going?
SD8.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Hope you don't get elected this time.
SD9.
9.
SD9. There he is, over there.
Who's that? 9.
SD10.
Hey. SD9, right there. 10.
Request for information, or point of information.
SD11. 11.
Well, I guess we'll wait till